You're listening to Grain of Salt, a podcast hosted by Donnie Burles and Krista Glennie Seishu, covering the Buffalo Niagara region's food and drink scene. Today's episode features the incredibly talented chocolatier Ben Johnson. Ben talks about discovering his love of chocolate making, the beginning of Blue Table, and why he's okay with people ordering just salty caramel.
When I found out about Blue Table chocolates, like that was like how far into, because I think you reached out to me, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. How like early into the whole endeavor were you at that point?
I was really early. It's a weird story, but what happened was...
we got time, Ben.
Okay, we'll figure it out. I wasn't actually doing it full-time as a job at that point.
Okay.
I think it might have been right around the time when it actually launched.
Yeah.
But I was doing chocolate on and off as a hobby for years, a bunch of years.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find this one obscure mold, this one shape that I couldn't find. And I found this European outlet that said, "Oh, we've got some local North American distributor that just happens to be in Buffalo. You should stop by."
Really?
So, after school, put the kids in the back of the car, and we drive out to, I don't know where we were, somewhere off Hurdle and Military.
Okay.
And found the Tom Rick place. Okay. So we went in and just talking. It's an office park.
Yeah.
To get this one $20 tray. And we're just waiting for him to show up, and we wander totally against whatever they wanted us to do into the back, and we find this kitchen, this weird kitchen where some guy is just making chocolates.
Huh.
So just strike up a conversation.
Like this guy's like actually making chocolates like sell?
No, he's got his chef's coat on. He's just doing some experimental stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So we just start talking, and it's turned to be Brian Donaghy.
Oh, okay, yes.
Who is now a sales rep, I guess, or...
Yeah, or brand ambassador, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
For Tom Rick. And he mentioned your name. And he said, really? If you want to do this, you got to talk to Donnie and you got to talk to Krista.
Well, that's very nice of him.
It was like, okay, can do. So disappeared for a little bit and ended up with, the branding and the packaging and all that. It's like, we're actually going to do this. I got to get this out there somewhere. I don't have an advertising budget.
Yeah.
So we started by just giving away a ton of free chocolate. Like everywhere I went, I'm just, Johnny Chocolate Seed, just throwing it out there.
Just dropping a couple 4-packs over?
Oh, no, like thousands of pieces at a time.
Jeez.
So I had a friend that is now, I think, the director of crisis services, Jessica Piro.
Okay.
And she was doing a fundraiser called Men Who Cook.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So did that for a couple of years and would just be the chocolate guy in the corner. And just, throwing out thousands of chocolates here and there.
God bless you.
And it worked out really well. And people started asking, where can I get this?
Yeah.
It's like, I should probably have an answer for that at some point. I should sell it if people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
So then took a break and got some graphic design work done in the boxes and everything. And then once it was actually there, got in touch with you, and you were living down the street. I'm like, I'm just going to drop this in his mailbox
that was when
and see what happened.
Yeah.
And then that was
crazy.
pretty much it. Yeah.
So you were looking for like a specific mold?
Well, there was it was Valentine's Day.
I'm curious about this whole is there special molds that are bigger in the chocolate world, or is there like scarcity or something?
Oh no, that's the thing. There's so many of them. There's like literally hundreds and hundreds of different shapes that you can use. So you need some rationale for why one particular piece or one flavor is going to be one particular shape.
Okay.
And was just looking to do something specific, and everything that you can get easily. I mean, there's a couple places that sell the cheap $1 plastic things.
Yeah.
For baby showers or whatnot. They were all just wrong, just not right.
Yeah.
And part of this is being a control freak and just really particular about these kind of things.
I can say after looking at your design and your everything that comes in a package of Blue Table chocolates, I can say yes. I would feel that you could definitely have an eye for control in design.
It gets a little problematic at points, but yeah, no, it was just it just worked out that the one place in all of North America just happens to be in Buffalo that
That's
you
crazy.
can just walk in and pick it up.
Yeah.
So I'm calling them. I'm thinking they're somewhere out in Peoria, and they're like, no, we're like a block away from you. You just stop in. It's okay.
Wow.
So yeah, that worked out really well. But
So-
I wasn't even looking for you guys. I wasn't looking for Chris. This was not to start a business. This was just some random guy.
Yeah.
And his side job, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but Brian is a paid consultant for small chocolatiers.
Yeah.
So he's got this, portfolio of a whole bunch of these, one-off people that only do farmers markets on the weekend, or retirees looking to make a little bit extra. And that's what he does.
Yeah, and he's been on national TV a couple times,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good guy to run into.
I've got this library of professional cookbooks, and I'm flipping through the credits, and he's in the credits from the Culinary Institute of America. I'm like, I just met this guy with the kids in the back of the car. What are you doing here? So
That worked out, I guess.
it was the weirdest thing because I wasn't even looking for it. So
Yeah, that's insane.
and then right after dropping it off for you, I think I dropped off a box to Krista at their new offices.
Oh, at the Spree office?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think immediately when you dropped off that box, I was immediately impressed with, like, the design of the packaging. I mean, like, first of all, like, the actual box it's in is gorgeous. And then the whole grid that you have inside.
Yeah.
Like, I was blown away just before I even had a bite of, like, a piece of chocolate.
Thank you.
It just seems like it was very well thought out. Like, that you spent some serious time figuring out how to make this as professional and also as easy to use as possible.
Yeah, part of it was just trying to think of it as a collection first before individual pieces.
Yeah.
And it gets a little manic. You see the notebook with these crazy grids and matrices of
A flavor?
what's supposed to go well with what and what color scheme goes well with what. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, because I think everything you have broken down is by color, because that's like
Yep.
the easiest way, I guess, to differentiate what
Yeah.
flavors are what.
and there's a bunch of mostly following a whole series of European, mostly Spanish chocolatiers.
Yeah.
That do really mind blowing stuff.
Yeah.
But you've got the name, so you can just put something out there and people will buy. But was looking to do something that was recognizable as its own thing. So they're all the same shape. They all have the same sort of aesthetic approach.
Yeah.
And just have some kind of grounding force to tie them together.
Yeah.
And then get a little nutty on the side. So.
I love that because you pretty much, you advertise that you have, like, I guess, a stable of flavors, and then you have your seasonal.
I should have brought those tonight, but I came straight from putting the kids down.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that was
My wife
mostly,
will kill me, but don't worry about it.
I'll drop them off of your mailbox. It's okay. Yeah, it's probably not the smartest business decision. No. But just so I don't go crazy, is basically there's 2 or 3 flavors that pay the rent every single month.
What are those?
It's salted caramel and pure dark. I cannot keep enough in stock.
You can't keep making enough of those?
Yeah, I mean, literally, every single week I could just make all of those and just sell them all.
I would have guessed salty caramel. I don't think I would have guessed the pure dark.
Partly they come together.
Okay,
So
well,
that could be the cheat. So you're forced to eat pure dark. But some of the other ones I do because it's more fun.
Yeah.
It's just more interesting to do stuff like that. So there's some wacky things coming up in a couple of months that I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
But
You're
just to do something different.
Yeah, you're kind of limited though. I mean, because you don't have necessarily a retail space.
No.
So pretty much all your stuff is mail. So you're kind of limited to the weather, I guess.
Yeah. I found out the hard way. Renting a space from a former Quaker Bonnet. They have an offsite kitchen.
Yeah, our friends at Mike and Christian have mentioned that they share a kitchen with you.
Yeah, and the guys from Public were using that space
nice.
late at night for a while. I think
Nice.
they're done with that. But it's an air conditioned room. It's set aside. Quaker Bonnet used to do a whole bunch, and they still do some of the buffalo chips. Mm-hmm. But they have this room just for chocolate. So it's away from all the ovens, all the grease, all the heat.
That worked out. I
It's
guess.
ideal. Yeah, and they were just more or less using it as a storage room.
Yeah,
So I'm renting that one room.
that's awesome.
And figured it's air conditioned year round. I can crank through the summer months in air conditioning.
Yeah.
But to ship, it just gets prohibitive. There was one person that desperately needed, for some reason, Blue Table chocolate in California in July. I'm like, are you sure? Because they have chocolate out in California. I appreciate the vote of confidence, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's no. It's important. It has to be a Buffalo thing. So they bought about $30 worth of chocolate and paid $52 in shipping.
Oh, God
with
bless
like
these people.
super wrapped in like Mylar and ice packs and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
express next day. And it's like, no, I can't do this. And even if you're going to give me the money, I can't take your money for that. So we mostly shut down. Last summer we shut down.
Yeah.
And just, rethought some stuff and
Kind of tinkered with recipes and
yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah. But I think now we're going to be in a couple of restaurants locally.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Going to be in a few retail locations that are still interested.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
I mean, I've not, I know my aunt recently went through you guys to do like a baby shower.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah, that worked out well.
And like I can't like spread the word enough because what you guys are doing is very different. I mean, it's a total different level than like a Watson's or any of that kind of thing. Like you're really messing with cool flavors and stuff like that.
I mean, not to take anything because we'll walk down Elmwood in the summer and the kids will definitely want something from Watson's.
Some sponge candy.
It's fine. It's totally fine. And I can't imagine I'm ever going to do sponge candy better than what's out there already. So
I would be very interested to see your version of sponge candy.
I'm going to have to do it one time just to play around with it a little bit. But no, I mean it's what they want, and that's fine. And there needs to be a place where you can go in and you can get a chocolate butterfly on a lollipop stick. That's great,
exactly,
and it makes them happy, and that's all they want.
Yeah,
but we're shooting for something different, like a baby shower or a wedding favor, or honey, will you marry me? And here's a box of chocolate, or whatever you need it for.
Yeah, I mean, I think the cool part is that you guys are really able to customize your chocolates to the consumer essentially too.
Oh yeah, I mean the really fun stuff. And I was kind of in my deep dark mind hoping that this would someday happen, and it started happening really quickly. Is got a couple of people out there that have total faith.
Yeah.
And Martin from Martin Cooks.
Nice.
A couple of times he said, "I've got this pre-feed dinner. Do something interesting."
That's awesome.
And it's like, really? Are you sure? You're giving me full license to just play? Oh, this is fantastic.
That's awesome.
So
you can't get anything better than that.
No. And that, if you just want to do right by him.
Yeah, yeah.
And the only problem with that is I need just 40 pieces. Just do a short run, 40 pieces of this. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I've got this, small shape that I want to use. It's a little different. It's got 24 cavities, for each tray. I'm all set, rip it out. And then the day before the dinner, it's like, you know what? Let's make it 50. Seriously? It's like, I've just got 48 here. I got So I had to do a whole second run for that. But
somebody got a lot of chocolate.
Someone got a lot of chocolate, yeah.
So let's rewind a little bit. So how did you per se get your start in the culinary world in general?
I don't know. It's a roundabout way.
All right.
There's no sort of cooking, pasta sauce at grandmom's knee or any of that. Yeah, it's mostly because I hated the jobs that I had.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we were living in Boston.
Okay.
I studied as an architect for a while, and then got a degree in planning, and was doing affordable housing in Boston.
Okay.
And it was, it was a job.
Is that your hometown, by the way? Or?
No, I was from New York City originally, but after college, we both got jobs up in Boston. My wife and I.
Yeah.
So was doing that for a while, and you put your time in, you forget about it at 5:01, and you don't think about it until 8:59, and it was just a job.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. So just to have something else, we started volunteering at this local bakery.
Okay.
And it was some nonprofit associated with Catholic Charities, and just every weekend would show up. I had a key to the bakery, would open it up, and you make the coffee and
nice,
and just sling muffins and whatnot. And it was fun. And it was great, and we got to know everybody in the neighborhood. And my wife was volunteering there for a while too, and it was kind of our thing.
Yeah. And
I was talking to the manager there, and he's like, we got a job opening as a baker, if you're interested.
Oh wow.
I'm like, oh man, I could actually be involved in this kind of stuff. This would be great. Yeah, I'd love to. It's like, yeah, it's in the basement without any windows, so it's totally illegal. Don't tell anybody. The ceiling's about 5'8", and I see that you're 6'2". You'd have to be here at 3:30 in the morning, and it pays $15,000 a year, no benefits. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Thanks. That's all right. So, but kind of got interested in the idea of doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
But, I'm keeping my day job.
Yeah, yeah.
So, just to get on the cooking side, I started volunteering at another place that did home delivery of meals for homebound AIDS patients, basically.
Okay.
And would, because we were flat broke there, ride a bike at 4 a.m. to this commercial kitchen in, some rundown neighborhood. And literally me and this guy with like 4 fingers on each hand, whose name, I shit you not, was Cookie. And it's this raspy old, 3 packs of cigarettes a day voice. Like, oh, you gotta put more cayenne in that soup.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So me and Cookie are just, mixing up these 55-gallon pots of soup for homebound patients. And he kept saying, you don't need me to sign your court order papers. Like, no, I don't have to be here. It's not that kind of thing.
I mean, no offense, Ben. I don't know how we looked at you and thought you needed to sign quarter.
No, it was like totally wild. I'm like, oh man, show me how to use that buffalo chopper. That's awesome. Like, oh, you call that a salamander? Oh, I want to know about that. So yeah, I mean, I was staged for Cookie, but
that's right up there with the Michelin starred chef right there.
But I mean, it was great. It was fun. But started to burn out. But
I mean, because you're doing that on top of your regular gig.
Yeah. I mean, just for poops and giggles.
Yeah, jeez.
But then we ended up moving from Boston to Buffalo.
Yeah,
and started looking for an office job here, and wasn't coming up with anything. So I got to do something in my day until a real job shows up.
Yeah,
so started looking around and found, I think there was an ad in Art Voice or something for this guy on Broadway that did really interesting chocolates.
Oh, really?
And it's like, I'll go check him out. And it was Choco Logo and Dan Johnson.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And he had, some wasabi and raspberry. And
yeah, they do some
absinthe
interesting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they supply like a lot of shops
they are
across
shockingly
the country.
big. Yeah. Nordstrom's, Bloomingdale's.
Yeah.
I
I think like local people don't realize that this little tiny thing on Broadway really is a national
it's kind
force.
of a big deal.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to approach this guy. I'm like, I'm not going to give him a resume, So it's like, I can make a mean macaroon. Okay, so I'll bring some, cherry port macaroons with this little, decorative detail.
Oh, like French macaroon stuff?
Yeah, like a French
Well,
macaroon.
yeah, I think if you're gonna impress somebody, it's showing them that you can make a French macaroon.
Yeah, and decent shell with a nice foot and all that.
Yeah.
And been doing those for a couple of years.
Nice. So is this all just you at home, just kind of messing around?
Yeah, no, I mean, most of it's honestly the only reason I'm doing this now is because I got this weird thing with sleep. And this is it was in architecture school.
Yeah.
And the first thing they teach you is you don't ever really need to sleep at all. And if you are sleeping, you're doing something wrong because everybody else is working when you should be working too. But it would go I think personal record was 76 hours without sleep. And a friend actually dragged me off my desk and it's like, you're starting to babble incoherently. This is a health issue.
Wow.
But
so this was just a way to fill time, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's just fevered brain and all that. But would go to work and then get home and everybody else would go to sleep and I got to do something. So would start food blogging.
Yeah.
And doing that kind of thing.
So was that your main method of education too? I mean, it was just
for the most part.
learn on the internet and just picking up a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you find one thing and then it leads to another thing and then something else. But
that's impressive.
we fell into this group. It's this, I think, international thing called the Daring Bakers. I don't even know if it's still around. But all they do is they just have different food bloggers and they would just post a challenge. It says, okay, today we're doing puff pastry. Let's see what you can do with puff pastry.
Wow.
And, mostly housewives, but the occasional professional chef would come up with these really interesting things.
Yeah.
So got into that and did that for a couple of years and started to realize that when people say okay, here's a recipe for, Napoleon's.
Yeah.
80% of the people would do, okay, this is the recipe. I recreated the recipe. I built the Legos exactly like it's supposed to look like on the box.
Yeah, yeah.
And then some of us were like, okay, we're going to do some freaky weird Calvados, hazelnut thing, but inverted and built into a triangle.
That's awesome.
And that was the fun part.
And that was more your side of it?
Yeah. And
you didn't want to recreate it step by step? You kind of wanted to put your own spin on it?
Yeah, just do something with it. And then you start looking around for inspiration and found Heston Blumenthal, the Fat Duck.
Yeah.
And then found this guy at the CIA, the Culinary Institute. It's been the pinnacle. This is my Mr. Miyagi. Francisco Magoya.
Okay.
He's their head pastry chef, or was for a while. I think he retired. But yeah, he's got these amazing books and just does mind-blowing stuff.
Nice.
And I think briefly he retired and opened his own chocolate shop in Hudson, New York.
Oh, wow.
Before he got hired by someone else and moved away. But
Wow.
it was an interesting little parallel.
But that's like those are your sources of where you kind of gained your base of your knowledge, I guess?
Yeah, sort of the initial part. And then was trying to recreate some of his stuff.
Yeah.
And had this, brief amateur food blog and tried to recreate. He had this, it was a laminated brioche, which is basically making puff pastry, but instead of, a block of butter and dough, you do a butter-filled brioche dough first and then wrap that with butter and do the trifolds and all that.
Damn.
It's just this gob of butter. I mean, it's so damn good with roasted garlic, pecorino, and a fried sage leaf, and it's just this thing of beauty.
That sounds amazing.
So I'm trying desperately to recreate this thing and post the pictures. I'm like, it's almost there. I flooded the butter a little bit, but it was doing okay.
Yeah.
And he commented on the blog. I'm like,
oh,
you're shitting me. It's like, what am I supposed to say?
Did you just drop everything and lose?
Oh yeah. I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, he likes me. He really likes me. And it was nothing more, I swear, than just like a gentle online pat on the head, like, nice job, kid, or whatever. I'm like,
that's all you needed?
That's all I needed. I'm like, oh, chef, you don't know what that means. Like, it's 3:00 in the morning. I'm here with like a pile of laundry I haven't done, and I'm making freaking laminated brioche. He just patted me on the head. So
that's amazing.
It was great.
I mean, was your wife basically waking up in the morning to like a pile of baked goods?
Oh man, she'll tell you stories, but we had like, I wouldn't say fights, but we had talks about this. She'd like wake up and I'm, unshaven and still manic and whatnot. And there's, cakes and like a million cookies all over the place. And
it sounds amazing.
I'm like, I make croissants. Like, I don't want a fucking croissant. I want you to sleep. And we're working through that and all.
Yeah, you have kids now. That'll consume some time.
Yeah.
But that's amazing.
So
I mean, I guess that's a productive way of using your time.
I mean, it's better than crack. Or whatever. I think it's better than crack.
Some cardiologists might disagree, but I would say, yeah, sure. So that leads you into the fact that you can create a French macaroon, which I mean, I consider one of the more difficult things for people to pull off.
Oh, she's a fickle mistress.
In a home, let alone in a professional kitchen.
Yeah, no, I mean, there were a lot of failures.
Yeah, because we had Sarah Whaley years ago on a podcast, and she would talk about her. Like that you would just make 48 and be like, yeah, maybe 15 will work.
I'm going to run into her someday. But I was so mad at her. You guys should
definitely meet.
Because at first, like when I couldn't find a job, like, maybe I'll make macaroons and I'll sell those. And I swear, like that day, the spree ran a little bit about the new macaroon lady selling it at Zilly Cakes. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like, come on.
Until she finally did it in like 2012 or whenever she did it, that was like a market that was like completely untapped.
They're good. They're so good.
She's a very talented, baker. So you run into Choco Logo.
So I show up with like my square white plate of macaroons, and I'm like, can I talk to your boss or whatever? So he sits down and he tries a couple, and he calls a couple guys in from the line, and they try. I'm like, it's a good fucking cookie. It's like, it's not a cookie, but okay, yeah, whatever. So we have a little talk. It's like, yeah, you want a job? It's a busy season. I'll put you on the line.
Nice.
And it was, straight from that I Love Lucy episode with the hairnet, and just you're there at the enrober and you're just cranking through.
Yeah.
Which was great. And, it was a total kid in a candy shop.
Was that your first experience, like a commercial setting like that, or?
Yeah, to be paid. I mean, washed dishes at, restaurants before and that kind of thing. But first one actually working the line.
Was that kind of like a testy moment where it was kind of like, this is where I'll know if this is what I kind of want to do?
Oh, no. At this point, it's still just, poops and giggles. This is like someone's going to like find out like that I'm here and like kick me out because I'm not supposed to be here. Like I've got no business being on the line.
Yeah.
But they never did. So that was not that long. It was a couple of months.
Yeah.
But we're there and the head chef at that time, Ann Pierikowski. I don't know if she runs her own online chocolate shop, Le Petit Chocolatier.
Yes, yeah, Annie, right? Yeah.
So she was there, and she was kind of like leading me through what I'm supposed to do and all that. And,
Nice.
And there were a couple of moments where we could actually talk intellectually between, people. It's like, oh, so, I mean, softball stage sugar. Yeah, softball. Okay, so we did. And, just learned a ton. She didn't even know how much I picked up from her, but
That's awesome.
it was great.
Yeah.
And then I got a desk job.
Okay.
And like just something showed up. I was like, okay, so I've got a real job now. This whole thing has to come to an end. Fun while it lasted. See you guys around.
Yeah, it's always a hobby, I guess. Like at the time, you're thinking like, yeah, I could.
It's like I'm glad I did this. I learned a whole lot. And
Yeah.
I'm still gonna do it late at night for fun, and that's not ever gonna stop.
Yeah.
So got a job working out in the nonprofit world, which was great, which was fantastic, but it was freaking exhausting. And for nonprofits, it's 60, 70 hours a week for no money at all.
Yeah. My wife worked briefly in a nonprofit setting. Yeah.
And it's this kind of thing where you can hear the devilish voice on your shoulder saying, like, you can get away with doing a lot less. It's like, no one's going to know if you don't do this. Because it was small. It was just basically me and a part-time accountant doing this. But just couldn't live with yourself. It's like, no, if it's not right, it's not right.
Yeah.
And so would, go to late-night meetings and just do all this work for no money.
Yeah.
And did that for 3 years, 4 years, something like that.
Oh, wow. God bless you.
And then I think one time, Prish Moran, Sweetness 7, ran into my wife, and she's like, "Is your husband okay? He just looks angry all the time. He's just pissed. I don't know what's wrong." It's like, something up. It's like, no, that's just the way he is. It's like, oh, that's not good. That's no way to live.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had some hard conversations, and it's like, I'm just going to take whatever cut in salary it takes. And just going to, be a grumpy old man before I'm 40 at that point.
Yeah.
And decided to do this instead. So
that's a pretty big jump to take.
Yeah, no, it was a little terrifying. It's still a little terrifying. and the problem is it's so much fun doing the actual cooking part of it.
Yeah.
And to have like actual control and do this during the daytime. That I gotta actually treat it more like a business and not like a playground.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more. Because it's just fun.
Do you see yourself like, I can't imagine. I would assume that you have some pretty significant notebooks of like ideas and recipes and things like that.
No, there's like 20 bad ideas for every one that goes in. But
and are you able to make those on a single batch level, or do you have to make like 20 of horrible things? And
no, a lot of those go out in the summer. There's some unfortunate pear and cardamom ones that just didn't land. I was so excited about this prune steeped in Armagnac.
Yeah.
And I had this, mason jar of liquor and prunes for like a month, just slowly maturing, and it was disgusting. It was just horrible. Like I can't even give this away, because I don't want my name associated with it. But no, it's tough because, the nice thing is everybody wants to help.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing is everybody wants to help. And there's this great book by Dominic Ansel, the guy that invented the cronut.
Yeah. Which, I think it's unfortunate that he's known as the cronut guy because he's
so much more.
He's an amazing pastry chef in his own right.
Yeah. And not to be like all hipstery about this, but I totally was following that guy before he was cool.
Yeah.
So he had some stuff way before the cronut.
Yeah.
And,
you go into that store and arguably the cronut is the least impressive thing on that.
Oh, yeah. And he's sick to death of that thing, but
yeah. But how do you explain? How do you
money there?
Yeah, exactly. How angry can he be as there's a line of like 100 people every morning at his restaurant?
Oh yeah, he's doing well for himself. He's fine.
Yeah.
But he had this whole intro to his book that came out. He was saying like the hardest part about opening his own bakery, because he was working as a pastry chef for a while.
Yeah. Is
that everybody's telling you what you should do, and you got to in a very polite way and strategically say like thank you. I'm not going to do that. It's like, I'm not going to do peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the kids. I'm not going to,
There's something about like pastries where people think they know more than like if you were like just an executive chef, I don't think anyone would tell you how to cook a dish, but there's definitely something about the like pastry sweets
everybody's
world.
Got advice. Yeah. And it's all well-intentioned, and it's all, people just wanting to be helpful, and some of it has been like really, really good.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and there's some great ideas out there, and some I am not the owner of. But there's a lot of people. It's like, oh, you should do peanut butter. It's like, I'm sick to fucking death of peanut butter. It's just so unoriginal.
It's like, what do you mean? Like, no, just literally just peanut butter.
Just stick a tube of Jiffy in there and call it a day. You could sleep so much more. It's like, no, I just can't do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And they're probably right. I'm sure someone is right that you could make a lot more money.
Oh, I
doing
mean,
stuff
there are
like that.
several chocolate companies that have proven that point.
Exactly.
But I mean, what you're doing, I think, is so much different and exciting that I think your followers or your fans would expect more.
I mean, that's kind of the hope, is that, and this is totally pie in the sky, but that whatever sense of adventure and fun that goes into the actual making of the product would somehow come through.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, we do the farmer's market at Horse Feathers every Saturday.
Yeah.
And that's kind of interesting to see what people say when you just shut up and just watch them talk. And the general sort of arc that people go through is, oh, wow, that's really interesting. Oh, that's great. I'll take some salted caramel, which is fine. It makes them happy. That's all I want out of a customer. Just want to make them happy. But, it's like, oh, wow, yuzu. Oh, that's really interesting. Oh, wow, that's great. Passion fruit. I'd love to try that someday. I'll take the salted caramel. Like, okay, I'll sell it to you. That's fine. It's a damn good chocolate. I'm really proud of that one.
Your salted caramel is fantastic.
Yeah.
But no, I totally can see what you're saying. I mean, I think the Buffalo culinary scene is definitely on the rise. I don't think we're there yet. But chocolate's a hard thing locally because, I mean, you're competing against like
Old
3 companies that have basically dominated forever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the joke of, like, we're going to start this. This is the beginning of the empire. It's like, no. It's like, this is just fun. Right now, it's going to be a business and hope to get bigger, certainly,
Yeah.
and get some serious equipment, and maybe a year or 2 years from now, actually get some ECC culinary students to help out a little bit.
That would be good.
It would be fun. That would be fantastic. But no, we're not taking down the big guys.
Yeah,
So,
there's only so much that.
yeah.
I mean, like we were saying about other restaurants in the area that aren't that great. That there's only so much like chefs like Ed Forrest or Steve Gadger can do to combat the giant forces that plow through their products or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, so the horse feather thing though has to be interesting because you're finally kind of. I mean, everything else has been online essentially.
Yeah.
With customers, so the horse feathers you're like face to face with like
and
people.
it's going gangbusters. I mean, I'm kind of shocked because I figured it would be the same kind of crowd every weekend, but it's not.
That's awesome.
So we've been doing it, since October.
Yeah.
And every weekend, most of the people, like, I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen you before.
Yeah.
So
Somebody's
coming.
Yeah, and your chocolates are different than like a normal chocolate. I mean, I said, like the presentation is gorgeous.
Thank you.
But like, are you able to like kind of provide your story behind like or like kind of
Briefly.
explain your vision of it? I guess to a certain extent. I don't know.
Not so much. I mean, it gets crowded.
Yeah.
It's a tiny space, and people are waiting for brunch or on their way somewhere else or just picking up eggs. So trying to nail it in like a
like your
30-second
elevator
bit.
pitch.
Yeah. An elevator pitch. Yeah. And I totally messed this up where would have these long involved histories behind the recipe development. And it was like, yeah, I kind of need to go to the bathroom now. You have to shut up so I can leave. But I used to call what is now the Pure Dark a Palais d'Or.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason behind it, and there's this great story behind it, and a lot of research that went into that. And nobody cares. And at some level, they really shouldn't. I mean, it either tastes good or it doesn't taste good.
I mean, at the base level, I think
level.
that's all food. Yeah. But
Yeah. But the idea is, way back in the day, if you're a respectable Parisian pastry chef, you come up with things that are yours and yours alone, and you do some standards that people like. But you're supposed to do, I mean, this is back in the day.
Yeah.
Do at least one version of a Palais d'Or, and that's your signature of this is your stamp on what sort of a pure dark chocolate tastes like. And it's typically a cake, just a chocolate enrobed cake, typically with gold leaf in some form or another.
Yeah.
And the traditional way is you just take a ball and you sort of mush it with the bottom of a saucepan and make it into a hockey puck shape. And Palais d'Or is a golden hockey puck. Is what it translates as.
Okay.
But some guys are adding a little bourbon. Someone's adding a little bit more vanilla, some coffee, some different things, and that's sort of your signature version of that.
Yeah.
Which nobody cares about. In France, I don't think anybody cares about that except different pastry chefs.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing they do things like industry night or whatever where they get together. It's like, oh, I see what you tried there. It's not bad. And this was just sort of, knocking at the door saying like, hey guys, let me in. This is my version of a Palais d'Or.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I was like, what are you talking about?
I'll take a box of salt.
I just want to take a box of salted caramel at this point. Yeah. So,
God bless you. No, I mean it's exciting. Like when you reach out, I skimmed the website and I was like, wow, this looks like really pretty and everything, but I didn't realize like the flavor profiles that you were using and the different ingredients. I mean, like a yuzu chocolate in Buffalo. I mean, that's like pretty out there.
Yeah.
Like was there any point where you were, when you're making these recipes, where you're almost concerned that you're getting too, I don't want to say weird,
esoteric?
But yes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was kind of the idea of the monthly specials of just test the waters.
It's kind of like your way to do whatever you want and not necessarily worry about it too much.
We did one last year. There was a Saint Germain.
Yeah,
just an elderflower liqueur, which is really, really delicate and interesting
and delicious.
And it didn't sell at all. Nobody. And
breaks my heart.
I was giving away a bunch of those, but only after like not telling people what it was. Because we did this a chocolate affair at the Hyatt, which was fun, and we shut that place down, and because they were giving free samples all over the place. Here's a little nibble of chocolate, here's a little sponge candy, and we had just so many drunk women just crowding around our table. I felt like a rock star, but I can't afford to do that anymore.
Imagine.
It was like 1,500 pieces in 2 hours. I mean, they just like hyenas on a fresh kill.
And you're just hyenas on a fresh kill. Are you just hoping that they're like picking up your brand at all?
I'm hoping. At this point, I don't think anybody remembers who I was.
Slip cards into people's purses.
Tell your friends. We do bar mitzvahs and weddings. But it's just giving out that stuff left and right.
Yeah.
And I think people would just grab it without even waiting to hear what it was.
Yeah.
And for no good reason whatsoever, just to make it distinctive, that flavor was colored blue with a yellow stripe.
Yeah.
Because nobody knew what Saint Germain was, and there was no color scheme that made any sense anyway.
Yeah.
And people thought it was a Sabres color.
Oh,
so they're like, "Oh, cool, Sabres chocolate." I'm like, "That never even occurred to me." Yeah, that's what it is.
That's so Buffalo.
Sabres with a delicate alpine flower. They'd only no.
God damn Buffalo.
But I mean, I don't know if I call that total failure because it was a fine chocolate. I'm going to go back to that for like special events.
I mean, I'm a huge Saint Germain fan, so that just sounds delicious. Just you telling me the description,
but it just didn't sell.
That's power.
And it's there. It's in the.
You got the recipe. You can go back to it if you want.
Yeah, someday. But no, doing a development now. There's I don't want to say who it is because we don't have anything signed yet.
Yeah.
But there's someone that's got 8 retail locations that wants to put us on their menu.
That's pretty big.
And they're very, very specific of what they want.
Yeah.
Which is fine, which is, they should be.
Are you cool with making something necessarily that's like ordered? You're fine with trying to recreate somebody else's vision, or?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I was struggling with this a little bit, and where we're landing, and we're not 100% there yet, is it's going to be under their brand, but they're going to say it's local, locally made. So as long as it's not under my brand, I can do things that I wouldn't put, and I'll do what they want.
Yeah,
and it'll still be interesting,
and also be interesting and look very,
oh yeah,
attractive.
But the last couple of weeks, if not months, has been a whole lot of testing of 7 or 8 different flavors that are probably more sort of mainstream than
you would normally
do.
Yeah,
but I'm happy to have like both sides of the coin sort of represented there.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
we're talking about a cheesecake, a peanut butter and jelly, a banana split.
But I guess
things like that.
There's probably still some of those enough margin there for you to kind of put your own spin on it. I
Oh
guess.
yeah. There's a way, and it's going to be the kind of thing like no one else is going to know. But just so I can live with myself, I'm like, I can't take a slab of like Philly's cream cheese and just mush it into a shell. I can't do that. I'm sorry. You know, there's going to be
Your body won't allow you to
like
do that.
a freaking custard base, whether you know it or not, involved here. Okay.
That's I appreciate that. Like I feel like you kind of have to know your limit, I guess, with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and you said earlier that you've been working with other restaurants. Like, what other kind of restaurants do you mess around with?
Yeah. Well, Hydraulic Hearth, Rick downstairs.
Which we're sitting above right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's been fantastic because a ton of people are coming up at the farmers market saying, "Oh, I recognize you from Hydraulic Hearth."
That's awesome.
Because right now they've got a dessert menu with me and sorbet, and it's freaking cold out there. So I'm doing really well.
So you're pretty popular.
Yeah. But no, he does a nice job. He plates it all and everything, and the servers really know what the flavors are.
Nice.
But Rick has gotten to the point where he's like, "Give me whatever is fresh because I like it all."
That's awesome.
It's like, cool.
That's great.
Let's do this.
I know you worked with Vera at one point too.
Yeah, and that was mostly because we love their work.
Yeah.
And I met John doing that Men Who Cooks thing back when John Carroll was at
Was
Vera.
that Vera? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think one time we were slinging chocolate and liquor at that Men Who Cook thing.
That's a great combination.
And we're just, talking and whatnot. I said, hey, you should stop by sometime and do this, that, the other. So we went for pizza and I'm not a real, foodie scene guy, but someone behind I never got trained,
I know, but I would assume like with your eye of detail to just the chocolates, you kind of would follow that way through your food as well.
I still feel like I'm playing one on TV, but to go in there and like the bartenders at Vera, like, hey Ben, come over here.
Yeah,
it's like, what, me? Yeah, sure, okay, what's up? So they're comping me shots, and it's like, oh, you got to try this thing. This is our signature sort of digestive. This is Batavia Rock,
nice.
licorice. It's some rum made out of red rice and sugar cane or whatever. It's like, sweet, okay. It's like the least I could do.
Yeah.
Is make a chocolate for you out of this. So not to sell it or anything, we just showed up one day like, hey guys,
Yeah.
Right
Nice.
back at you. So did that and had like a little snakeskin imprint on it and everything. And then Cameron got in touch and we did just a stupid testing pop-up thing.
Yeah.
Where for one night, everybody that ordered dinner got free chocolate.
Yeah.
Just to see how it worked. And showed up and, did everything but put a fake mustache on. And we're just hiding in the crowd, like just seeing what people said. And it went really well.
That's awesome.
So a couple of times we were on their menu, but I think we slid away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind getting back on there, but
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Any other places you're messing around with?
Ocean and Shango after
nice.
restaurant week.
Yeah.
It looks like that's going to happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Those are good restaurants to be in.
I'm happy to be associated with Vera and Shango and Ocean.
Yeah.
It's like significant names.
Yeah, those
So,
are good. That's a big trifecta right there.
Yeah. And
Shango especially, I mean, they've established names since like 2005. I mean, they're a heavy hitter.
Yeah. He's got chops.
Yeah.
And then done a few with Martin Cooks,
Yeah.
which was the fun ones,
That's cool.
and I'm just trying to have like a serious professional conversation with him. He's got a life-size canister of liquid nitrogen behind him. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I'll give you all the chocolate you want. Just let me play in your kitchen for a little bit. Just close your eyes. Just turn your back. I'm just going to spend half an hour doing some crazy stuff.
Do you still have ideas that like you in your wildest dreams you could like mess around with?
Oh, yeah.
like your ultimate toy list, I guess.
So getting away from this because I've got to start treating this more like a legitimate business and not just having fun. It could be both, but it's got to be
Eventually,
legitimate.
yes.
But last year I did an April Fool's joke, and people thought it was serious about it, and it was offering a Friday fish fry chocolate. Just to see who would actually click on that order button. And there were a few people like, all right.
I'm so sad to hear how many people would have clicked on that.
But, I mean, the joke that was going to be this year, and I think we're going to avoid it because, we're serious business people now, was to package and sell legitimate, authentic blizzard of 2015 Buffalo snow in a chocolate. And that was the joke. But the more I think about it, it's like, there's a way to do this.
Yeah.
Where you take any liquid, any flavorful liquid or fruit puree, and you mix it up in a blender with a tapioca maltodextrin.
Okay.
And you can make a snow-like texture out of any flavor.
You're a bad man.
So, I mean, there's some other pastry chefs that do this. Mostly it's like a single component of a plated dessert or whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can make like chocolate soil where it looks like dirt, but it's just chocolate. Or you could do sort of a mint moss where it's just mint oil and a little bit of a stabilizer. And it looks and feels and it melts on your tongue like snow.
Huh.
But it's heat stable.
That's pretty...
It's pretty fucking cool. So I'm thinking, like, there's a way to do this, like, seriously, and just take some flavor. I haven't figured out the profile yet. And then there's the technical aspect of actually doing this and then capping those shells without ruining that sort of snow effect.
God, I can't imagine.
it would be complicated.
Yeah.
And
might take a couple late nights on that one.
could use some liquid nitrogen, Martin, if you're listening. If you want to donate to the cause.
If Martin is listening, yeah, please. Or maybe James Roberts. He always seems to have liquid nitrogen around him.
Just a cup or two to spare. Yeah.
Jeez.
But no, I mean there's some stuff there. But honestly, I mean, just anywhere you look, you just keep finding different inspirations, and some of them I don't want to reveal because
no, please,
we're still going to put them out there maybe next year.
Yeah.
But
that's awesome.
There's stuff. We wanted to do a kid's birthday party with a bubblegum flavored chocolate, which to me personally sounds disgusting.
Yeah,
but my kids were pretty excited about it. So
I saw you made a cake once for, I believe, your daughter, right?
Oh yeah, she's tough, man.
I mean, you would assume that having your dad as this like chocolatier would be like the greatest thing ever.
No. I mean, she again, her favorite. I'll give you one guess what it could possibly be.
I'm guessing salted.
It's salted caramel, of course. She loves the goddamn salted caramel. And I've gotten better at it, so there aren't any damaged product anymore. And it used to be I would like completely mess up a run. And,
there's zero margin of error on those.
But I did some Darth Vader heads. Got a special mold.
My wife was very excited.
And they were fun. They were for giggles. And of course filled them with salted caramel for a cake. And,
yeah.
And she had the cake and went out and she's like, Dad, it's not your best work. Damn. It's rough. It's like the shell is a little thick, don't you think? Are you comfortable putting this out in the world? It's like, just eat your cake.
Just eat that damn cake.
Yeah.
That's I guess that's good that they're so honest. In a way.
I mean, the hope
keeps you in check. A little
yeah,
bit.
no, I mean they don't pull punches, but long term, this is the Machiavellian idea. Someone's going to give them like a Twix bar at some point because they haven't had Twix or Nestle Crunch yet.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How old are these children?
Well, she's 9 and he's turning 7.
Good. God bless you for keeping them off.
Oh, they don't want for chocolate. I mean, they have plenty of chocolate in their lives. But someone's going to give them like a Nestle Crunch bar. Like, what the hell is this? It's like, I've been lied to my whole life. And, then the next step is they would turn it down and walk away and grab a carrot or something. But
so that's amazing. I commend you for your skills in keeping them away from the trash. I guess we can kind of wrap all this up. Like, what do you see Blue Table chocolates in like the next year or so? Like, what kind of things are you hoping to do?
Right now, it's a little faster than I thought it was going to go, but we're looking to maybe upgrade some equipment and boost capacity.
Yeah.
It's always going to be that Christmas and Valentine's is kind of crunch time.
Oh, I can't imagine.
But it just about
Valentine's has to be crazy.
Oh man, it hurt. It hurt real bad. And Christmas was worse. I mean,
really?
You get a lot of shipping all over the country for Christmas, but it was 3 weeks of going in at like 8 a.m. and coming home at 3 a.m.
Jeez.
And then you wake up the next day, get the kids off to school and do it all over again.
God bless you.
And it was just, you start to see yourself and you're like, I don't want to be this guy.
Yeah.
So if, a couple things could help speed that up.
Yeah.
A little bit. And then if it goes really well, I'd love to actually start working with other people in the kitchen. and just have another voice and be part of the process. And yeah, see if we could build it that way.
That'd be awesome.
So that's the hope. Yeah.
Well, best of luck to you, Ben.
Thank
Because
you.
you make an awesome product. I can't, like, I honestly, like, I can't tell enough people how much I love your chocolates. Because not only are they delicious, but hands down the best, like, design overall, like, encompassing from the look of the chocolate, from the taste to the product presentation, like, just a perfect all around.
Thank you.
So I really, I can't say enough. Like, you do an awesome work, and my wife and I are very big fans.
Thank you. Thank you.
And best of luck to the rest of 2015 to you.
Yeah,
And going forward.
We'll see where it goes from here.
And thank you for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we finally got to sit down and talk.
No, this is great. You got a nice little setup here.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky. Well, thank you very much, man.
Yeah, no, and thanks for the beer.